If the SARS model is used to raise the performance of other ministries, great flag. If SARS gets dumbed down, bad flag. In health, there's one world-class state hospital in this country. It's called the Red Cross Children's Hospital in Rondebosch in Cape Town. It's not run by the Red Cross, it's run by the state. And it's been rated in the top 3 children's hospitals in the Southern Hemisphere, and that's including the whole of Australia and New Zealand. And they have a special model there. They have a separate trust where they raise the money to build new operating theatres and burn units, and then the operating expenditure of the hospital is covered by the government. So if that model is used to upgrade Kruitskeur and Helen Joseph and Baragwanath and Joburg Gen, great flag. If the Red Cross Children's Hospital gets dumbed down, bad flag. And we go through education and good schools and bad schools and all the other kinds of things. The third flag relates to creating a dual logic economy, an outward-looking economy that earns us more foreign exchange to pay for our imports, and an inward-looking economy that creates more jobs and makes a dent on our hideous unemployment rate of 23.5%. As far as the outward-looking economy is concerned, we have to choose our spaces carefully because it's such a competitive game. You have to play to your strengths. And we think there are 3 areas where we can earn lots more foreign exchange. Number 1 is resources. We're still a resource-rich country. I mean, interestingly, people feel that because of the decline in diamond and gold production, you know, we're actually no longer a big player. We're huge. We're number 1 in platinum, number 1 in chrome, number 1 in manganese, lots of iron ore, lots of coal. But obviously what we have to do now is add value to those resources rather than just exporting them in their raw form. I would love to see Johnson Matthey being invited to set up a factory in Rustenburg to produce platinum catalysts, so that we actually export catalysts as opposed to just the metal. But we do have one pocket of excellence, and that's not in minerals, it's in our agricultural industry, it's our wine industry. It's much better exporting bottles of wine than bunches of grapes. And one American newspaper recently rated us the number 1 wine-producing nation on earth in terms of quality for price. I mean, a huge accolade. And I heard the other day that Barack Obama was asked on CNN what his favorite wine was, and he said Graham Beck Sparkling. In fact, I heard that he actually flew a few cases over to celebrate his presidential victory. So he really has taste. The second area is tourism. This country is beautiful and cheap once you get here. And yeah, I mean, we've had this fantastic array of sporting events over the last 12 months. And of course, we've got the really big one coming up next year, which is the Soccer World Cup. Gary Bailey's latest estimate is something around an extra 500,000 tourists for the World Cup. He says, thank heavens Britain, or England, sorry, not Britain, England got through to the finals because that added another 40,000 tourists, just like that. So, yeah, we've got to make sure that we rebrand ourselves as a very desirable tourist destination next year. And the third space is being the gateway into Africa. And this is probably the most important space, because we never are conscious of this fact, that we represent 30% of Africa's GDP with a little less than 5% of Africa's population. We are the America of Africa, and Africa is opening for business. It is the continent of the 21st century, and we're the dominant player on the continent. And all the other countries want our technologies and our skills. Look at MTN. I mean, MTN is the largest cellular network in Nigeria. It's just become the largest cellular network in Sudan. And in fact, it's just become the largest cellular network in Iran. In fact, it has more subscribers in Iran than South Africa. So the conversation is going to go over the MTN network. Hello, we got the bomb. So, yeah. We feel very strongly that these skills can be used to earn lots more foreign exchange in the transformation of the continent's various economies. So what's our feeling at the moment? We give a, sorry, that's on the outward-looking economy. The inward-looking economy is all about small business. And, you know, it's something we have never given emphasis to in South Africa. The small business sector has always been regarded as an also-ran, where you go if you can't get a decent job in government or in big business. And when Chantal and I looked at the top 4 economies in the world, in the Premier League, it's because they were driven by entrepreneurs. I mean, number 1 is America, and you ask any American which is the star state, and they will tell you California. In fact, California is the 5th largest economy in the world with 36 million people. I mean, everybody there is an entrepreneur, including the governor, old Arnie. He even brandished a knife in front of a TV camera saying, we've got to cut our budget. You know? The second nation is China. I mean, China is the 3rd largest economy in the world now, and it doesn't have a single global brand. There's no Toyota, no Nissan, no Canon. Oh yeah, it has a little brand, made in China. but again, one of the reasons for China's success was that Deng Xiaoping, who followed Mao Zedong in 1978, introduced the open door policy which liberated the entrepreneurial spirit in China. And then you have number 2 and number 4. Japan is number 2, Germany is number 4. And guess what they have in common? They both lost the Second World War. But when you talk to economists in both countries, they will tell you what the Second World War did was level the playing field, literally, in both countries. And this allowed small family businesses to do extremely well in the 50s and 60s. And that formed the platform for their subsequent economic success. And here we've had a peaceful transition. So we still have an economy with entrenched big business interests and very little space for small business. In fact, Thabo Mbeki was quite right to talk about a 2 worlds economy. We have a first world formal sector, we have a third world informal sector, and we have no bridge between the two. I mean, I remember doing a survey 10 years ago in the Warwick Triangle in Durban. That's what the main thoroughfare into Durban for 400,000 Zulu pedestrians. I mean, it is the largest pedestrian thoroughfare in South Africa. And I remember one stall because there was this guy selling a unique product. He boiled cows' heads and he sold them to the outgoing traffic. And I said to him, this is an amazing business. Why don't you create a franchise? Get a head start. And he said, you're kidding. I've been on this site for 10 years. I've been to every bank in Durban to lend me money to expand my business, and they won't do that. Now, to me, that's outrageous. This is not a guy off the street. This is a guy who's proved himself. And, you know, we have to correct that problem. I believe that we should bring in Muhammad Yunus, who won the Nobel Prize last year for transforming micro-lending facilities in Bangladesh, you know, by founding the Grameen Bank. We need some vehicle like that which harnesses the entrepreneurial power of the informal sector and treat it as a real innovation hub. I mean, if we got 20,000 entrepreneurs to graduate from the informal sector to the formal sector, and they added 20 jobs each, that's 400,000 extra jobs, which is much better than a public works program funded by taxpayers' money. So what are the chances? Well, we give a 70% probability to the Premier League scenario. We give a 30% probability to being demoted into the second division. And I know some people find this optimistic, but we have our reasons. Firstly, our banking system has been a huge asset, even though, as some people say, it's too conservative. It's been a real asset. Number 2, we're going through a shallower U than Europe and America. I can promise you that. Chantal and I have been doing work in the UK. I mean, you don't know what real tough times are like unless you go to London and see what the recession has done to companies in London. And we're having a shallower U, care of all the sporting events, the fact that we're building all these huge stadiums, thank heavens, that New Zealander voted against us in 2006. Because we didn't need the World Cup in 2006. We sure need it next year as a gap filler.